This is interesting because I just heard about this today. They just released it. I shared it with James. There's a new term out called really simple licensing. So it's very new. And basically, if you have a website, you create content, you know that your content is getting scraped by these LLMs, these ChatGPTs, these Geminis, all the models, they're scraping them. And basically, the AI companies, they've just been getting all the content on the web without even asking for your permission. And let alone, they don't even want to pay you. It's just, I'm just going to take your stuff. And basically, there's nothing you can do. It's just a straight up hustle. But they said some big name publishers and tech companies like Reddit and Yahoo said, oh, we're going to pump the brakes. We're going to figure out some code and we're going to stop all of this. And they basically created a new plan called RSL, really simple licensing. Now, they used to have this thing and they still have it. It was called RSS, really simple syndication. So if you ever heard the RSS feed and you can broadcast your content out, well, now this really simple licensing says, hold up, we're going to stop all of that. And basically, they're just saying we're just going to stop and set up some boundaries. And basically, your AI crawler, you won't be able to eat this content. You're not going to be able to put it into your web crawler without being able to take my content and not give me either A, credit for it, or B, pay for it. Now, I don't know how they're going to be able to pay for it, but I think it's going to just stop them. And basically, they're saying instead of the old robots TXT file, it's a TXT file that AI often ignores. And they're saying that this RSL lets publishers add new tags with machine readable terms. So now the publisher can say what they need, whether it's getting the proper credit, a check every time AI uses their work, or even payment every time a model like ChatGPT or Gemini spits out an answer based on their content. The whole thing is a clever move to make sure content creators get a piece of that coin. All right. And basically, they said the RSL collective is a big part of it. And it's kind of like a union for publishers and creators, similar to how, if you're in the music industry, you've heard of ASCAP, you've heard of BMI, similar to something like that. And basically, a lone writer can't go head to head with a giant like OpenAI, but a whole collective of creators, now they got some power. Now, this allows you to protect your work. It creates new income streams for you. It values experience over expertise. And it's building a fair digital world, empowering the collective. Let me ask the audience this real quick. Do you think that publishers and creators should be compensated when AI models use their content? One, hell yeah. Pay me for my content. Two, no, the web should stay free for all. Three, maybe, depending on the type of content. Or four, I hate that we even have to have this discussion. 1 through 4. Let me know in the comments. Do you think publishers and creators should be compensated when AI models use their content? James, your thoughts?
Yeah, I was looking back on the comments to see, and it was Ray Wright who says, sounds nice on paper, but right for another topic. And that's what this is. I understand, as well as a distribution house, as someone who owns websites, who owns content, if I'm going to put my time, energy, effort out there, push something on a property that I own, that's my intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
So this RSL collective bargaining agreement, or whatever you want to call it, is in theory good, especially for folks to get paid for their work. How it's going to be enforced is going to be the real interesting piece. Is really brand new, right? No one's really implemented yet. A couple,
Oh, it
like you
dropped
said, a
today.
couple of. I was going to say, okay, today. There you
It
go.
dropped
Right.
today. It actually last night. So
You
people
breaking
really
news, boy. You breaking news.
look. I'm trying to get this content put up real quick.
But so there you go. You think about it. Some big guys out there saying, "Listen, we're tired of these language models going. They're scraping our content." But again, that's a catch-22 as well, because you want your AI platform to be smarter, and you want it to have as much data to give you a effective answer. Where is it going to get it from? If you opt out of allowing an OpenAI or Anthropic or a Perplexity of reading your data, that benefits who?
So you wanted to recognize it so you can get the SEO, right?
The word what I'm trying to figure out, what I'm trying to say is that there's a detriment to the end user, the end consumer, if some of these models can't go out there and actually not necessarily scrape the web, but being able to access that information. Give me attribution. Give me my reference as you pull something off of Hicks New Media, off of jameshicks.org or whatever the case. Give me my credit. Give me either my attribution, my credit, send me a check, whatever the case may be, but point folks back to my location as the source for that data. Now it's just been happening behind the scenes, and a lot of these models have been taking that. So I understand it from that perspective. But again, if I'm an owner of a content and I put something out there, I do expect to be compensated or recognized for the work that I did. I wish them well. I really wish RSL success in this, because selfishly, I and you as well are going to be recipients of anything good that comes out of this, because we'll get that attribution, we'll get that credit, we'll get that funding, or whatever the case may be. So we'll see how it works out. So it looks good on paper.
It's kind of like Perplexity. This is why I tell you guys, please use Perplexity. One, they give you credit of where they found the information. When you go use ChatGPT, Gemini, Mistral, Grok, they give you the answer, but they don't tell you where they got it from. And now you got to go back and go fact check. Whereas Perplexity, they're saying, hey, I'm going to search. You're going to search for the article. And when you search for that article, it literally tells you where they pulled the source from. If it says I got it from hicksnewmedia.com, got it from the labtechshow.com, I got it from whoever.com, you get, at least you get credit saying that this is where the source came from. Now, if you can get attribution, if you can get a check every 90 days, every quarter, that is even sexier. I don't think nobody's going to say, I don't want no money. So I think at the end of the day, it's just a matter of saying, give me my credit. Let it be known that I did this, because if we were doing it to them, they would be suing. And they would say the little guy cannot be able to do this to us. And right now, I think there's a lawsuit out right now with Disney with one of these AI models. And you got them dead to rights. You're using Disney characters, Pixar characters, and you're happy that we can use it as creators, right? But at the same token, you didn't get permission and you did not license that content. And guess what? Disney has the lawyers to do that. The little guy does not have the lawyers to be able to say, and this is where this collective comes in. So I wanted you guys to know what was happening. So don't think that, oh, I'm a creator once I put something up, whether it's some content, whether it's a video, whether it's a book. Anthropic, is it Anthropic that just did something the other day with a $1.3 billion lawsuit that just settled quietly?
Yes, Anthropic and Claude, yes.
Yeah, so they just did a settlement the other day saying, we talked about this, saying, hey, they're taking our books. And because they bought the book, they could use the content. Now, that was just Anthropic and Claude. We don't know what the other companies, those are still open cases out right now. But they just said, hey, just to keep the peace, that could be $1 trillion case. So let's just go ahead and settle for this 1.x or X amount of billions of dollars versus the trillions of dollars that we're going to end up having to pay, because they pretty much got you dead to rights, right? So if you hear the word RSL coming out, just know that you heard it here first, because I don't know anybody else that's talking about it on September 10th, 2025.
Well, cut that up right there. Send that all over the internet in like 2 hours. What?
If you know about, if you never heard of RSL as of September 10th, 2025, just remember you heard it here first. That's all I'm going to say. It's the Lab Tech Show. Join us Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern at thelabtechshow.com. Embrace it or get left behind.
Alrighty then.